Hello, gamers, and welcome to another PlayStation 30th Anniversary Reaction Specials here, as we're going to have an opportunity to react to the official launch trailers for PlayStation 5. This is the trailer that launched the console for its for its proper launch in the US and in the UK. There were two different versions of this trailer, even though they're both narrated by a famous rapper, Travis Scott, who, yes, he was a narrator for the PS5 launch titles, and he did some really good job, by the way, talking about, like, exploration, essentially, is what he's talking about. He talks about, kind of describing the speed of like, the PS5, and the PS5 is going to be, loading games faster, etc., and sort of pushing this new narrative that the PS5 is promoting in terms of SSD and exploring new worlds, etc., which is what they wanted to achieve with the PS5, and that's what these adverts are doing. So we're going to look at the first one, which is essentially a live action looking at different explorers and important figures who try to explore to find new ways of life, etc. And then there's another one which looks at the gaming, shows off some of the launch games for the games for the PS5 that helped launch the PS5 to the public for the launch weekend of the PS5. I would imagine that trailer was also used for the UK release of the PS5 because they also released that trailer worldwide. So, yeah. So without further ado, this is the first trailer they did, which is the 1:30 one, which shows the actual live action one that they rolled out to all the worlds to help promote the PS5 for the first time around the world. So this is the trailer with the voiceover of Travis Scott.
Exploration. It's in our DNA. There's something inside each and every one of us that compels us to know the unknown, to push past every frontier. We want to see what's never been seen, hear what's never been heard,
63 miles an hour.
feel what's never been felt. There are no limits to where we'll go, to what we'll discover, to what we'll achieve. We are all explorers, and there are new worlds to explore.
PlayStation.
Yeah. So that was really cool, wasn't it? The fact that they did this whole, like, different explorers exploring parts of the world, and they had that little cheeky Easter egg of the symbols of the PS5, which is the triangle, square, circle, X that represents the PS5, or the PlayStation brand, should I say, for years. And now we're going to look at the other version of the trailer, which shows off the games for the PS5 that half of them were releasing that year. The others were releasing later, as even though some were meant to launch in 2021, but then they got delayed until later. So these are the games.
Exploration. It's in our DNA. There's something inside each and every one of us that compels us to know the unknown, to push past every frontier. We want to see what's never been seen, hear what's never been heard, feel what's never been felt. There are no limits to where we'll go, to what we'll discover, to what we'll achieve. We are all explorers, and there are new worlds to explore.
PlayStation.
But yeah, as you can see, that was a glimpse at the new worlds to explore trailers that they did for the launch of the PS5. They did a version with the games, which, by the way, that games version was actually the trailer that they put out in the UK to promote the PS5, because they also showed that version more than the other one. So the other one, I believe, was only shown a couple of times, and then they switched it to the version which shows that actually represents the games of the PS5, even though it does say in the trailer that there's no actual gameplay. But they just showed off many of the games that they announced for the PS5 as to help promote. Even though some of, like I said, some of the games in that trailer, some were coming out in the first half of 2021, some got delayed into 2022 for a later release because they needed more time. But yes, so that was a glimpse at the launch trailers for the PS5 to give you a sense of what they were working with for the PS5 and how they set things up for this new generation of, kind of setting things up to help promote the PS5 for its first weeks on the market. That sets up for Christmas, even though they didn't really have a Christmas trailer because, well, not many people got it. They were because of the fact that people were still struggling to get a PS5. But yeah, either way, those adverts were out for most of Christmas to hype up the launch of the PS5. So there you go. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the launch trailers for the PS5, and we're going to be having an opportunity to look at the global launch celebration video that Sony did, where they did this whole projection to sort of display celebration across the world to celebrate the launch of the PS5. It was a really cool thing they did to celebrate the launch of the PS5 because of the pandemic. They did something unique to celebrate the launch day of the PS5, as you'll see in our next reaction videos.